Hey guys, we're entering the RV maintenance zone again today, and today we're going to be cleaning our air conditioner out. Now this is something that should be done a couple times a year to make sure that it operates at peak efficiency and to keep it clear of debris. It'll make your air conditioner last a lot longer and it'll be colder inside. So come along with us and we'll show you how it's done. Thanks. I'm Jason.
And I'm Lori. In 2023, we sold our home and started our new adventure in full-time RV living. We're super excited that you're here joining us for our journey.
And while on our journey, we're going to share with you places we've been, adventures we've had, and tips and tricks we've learned along the way.
So come along with us.
We are
Living between mile markers.
All right, so today we are going to be cleaning our Dometic air conditioner on the top of our RV. And to kind of get started here, here's the items that you're gonna need for this job. First thing is a wet dry vac. That's to clean any debris you might find in the air conditioner underneath the cover out. An extension cord, of course, to power that. A towel in order to stuff into areas so you make sure you're not getting debris down inside. And a handy dandy bucket to help you carry things up. And we're going to be using our cleaners today. The first one is the Frost King foaming cleaner, and the second one is the Nu-Calgon Evap foam no rinse. Now these are very similar chemicals, but the one is got a fungicide in it, which we'll use on our front condenser. Make sure that it's nice and clean and we're not getting any unneeded chemicals into the RV after we're finished. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here is our air conditioner. Now the one thing that I did not mention earlier, which is very important, I should have, is to make sure that you have unplugged your rig from power, both shore power, and disconnect the negative from your battery. That way you make sure that you're not getting any type of electricity through this as you're cleaning it. Just a safety precaution. So to get started on this type of air conditioner, we've got 4 bolts that we need to take out. There's 2 in the front here, and then 1 on each side. So let's go ahead and take those off, and that cover should slide right out. Okay, so now we've got our cover off. We're going to go ahead and set that cover off to the side. Now make sure if it's a windy day, you make sure that has that secured. The last thing you want to do is have that blow off your roof and crack, because that could be pretty expensive to replace. The other thing to be careful of is the 4 screws that you took out. You want to make sure that those are put in a safe place, because you don't want those going into your roof and accidentally stepping on those. So I'm going to set them right here inside of my bucket. So the next thing that we want to do here is we want to be able to take this styrofoam cover off to reveal our front condenser here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got our styrofoam cover off, which we've moved over here. And the one thing that I didn't anticipate was that there would be another hard plastic cover underneath that. So that cover was tied down by these 5 1/4-inch bolts. So I needed to climb down and find myself a socket and take those 5 bolts out and pop this off of these 5 tabs. And once you do that, this cover comes right off of there. So we'll set that off to the side next to the styrofoam cover, which then reveals everything underneath it. And as you can see, it's a little dirty. It's going to need some cleaning, especially around the intake over here. Oh, there's a little wasp nest that we'll clean out of there. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get the wet dry vac and get all these things out of here. But first, I'm going to go ahead and put a towel down into this cavity here, because that goes down into the cabin of the RV. Okay, so now that we've got our unit vacuumed out and the coils vacuumed off, the last thing we're going to want to do before we start cleaning anything is we're going to want to take this frost sensor out of the the front evaporator. And what that sensor does is that keeps the system from freezing up and the coils from expanding and bursting. So we want to make sure that's out of there while we do our cleaning. We'll put that back in when we're ready to put it back together. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to just take the cap that comes on one of our cleaners here. It's got these little brushes on the end. That's what we're going to be doing to clean the dirt out. But as you can see here, there's a couple of coils that are kind of bent over. So what we want to do is just kind of work that in there and kind of see if we can't straighten those out as we go through here. And it does a pretty good job of going through and straightening them out as you're working it. So we're going to go ahead and work as much out of this as we can. Straighten those coils out. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply our cleaner. Okay, so now that we've got everything applied here, now the can in the instructions did say that all of this will evaporate as condensation happens the next time you use your RV. They also said that you could use a little water to help rinse it off. So what I did was I got myself just a squirt bottle of some water, and I'm just gonna, spray that down a little bit, kind of help the evaporation of this cleaner along. And we'll get that on the inside as well. And we'll also use this water to, after we're all done, to help wipe down some of these components and make sure they're nice and clean before we button everything up. Okay, so now we're back up front on the front of the air conditioner, and we just cleaned the condenser coil. And now what we're going to do is we're going to clean the evaporator coil. And for that, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to use this Evap foam, no rinse evaporator coil. This is the one with the fungicide. So this is going to be in contact with the air that's coming into the RV. So that's where we're using the little bit more expensive stuff for the front side here. So it applies the same way. You just quickly spray it on. And then we'll use our comb to work that in. And then we'll just wipe away the excess. And again, this is self-evaporating as well. So we'll just grab our comb here real quick. We'll make sure that we get that foam worked in there and let it do its thing. Okay, now that we've got our front evaporator coil cleaned, next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go in here, and you can see that inside of here is not real dirty, but it's a little dusty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bottle of water and just kind of wipe all this stuff down, keep it nice and clean for the next time, and then we'll be ready to put everything back together. Okay, so now that we've got everything kind of wiped down, now let's go ahead and start putting it back together. The first thing we're going to want to do is pull that towel back out of our bay, and don't forget to put that temperature probe, anti-frost probe, back in. Make sure that works properly, and then we'll go ahead, we'll put our cover back on, get that secured down, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put the foam cover back on top of that. Okay, so now we've got our styrofoam cover put back on. We've got our screws that held down the plastic cover put back in. Very important, don't forget that. And now we'll go ahead and we'll just clean up the cover, and we'll go ahead and get those 4 screws back in and button it all up. So now I'm down off the roof. We're exiting the RV maintenance zone once again. I thank you guys for coming with me. This job wasn't as hard. We saved ourselves quite a bit of money from having a technician come out and do that for us. So hopefully you guys found this useful, and Again, don't forget to like and subscribe below, and make sure you click the bell as well to make sure you get all the notifications when we drop new videos. And we'll see you next time between mile markers.